All right, guys, we are back. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy CMB checking in. And guys, we're going to do a comparison today. We're going to do who did it better, the Superman edition. We're talking James Gunn, Superman 2025 versus Zack Snyder's 2013 Man of Steel. Now, I went to see James Gunn's Superman opening night. And I did a couple of videos. I did an out of the theater reaction, and I did a video before I went to see it. And I told you guys, so I'm just going to reiterate for the ones who don't know, that I was a Zack Snyder guy. You know, I was big on Zack Snyder movies, Man of Steel. I told you guys that BVS, I would say the Ultimate Edition of BVS was my favorite movie. When it came to the DCEU. And I talked about going into that movie, going into James Gunn movie with an open mind, because let's face it, there was a lot of negativity leading up to that movie, and there's still a lot of negativity online right now about that movie. But a lot of people was trashing the movie before the movie even came out, and I just didn't want to be that guy. I just didn't want to be a cultist per se. You know, I wanted to make my own opinion. I didn't want my opinion to be swayed by what I hear online, because let's face it, when you're hearing things over and over again, it's going to kind of affect your opinion. So I had to kind of compartmentalize and kind of take myself out of that. So I went into that movie not really expecting, anything. And I told you guys when I got out, when I did my out of the theater reaction, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a great movie. I gave it 7 out of 10 stars. And keep in mind, I'm a Zack Snyder guy, but I was still able to enjoy that movie. Now the question is, who did the better movie? Who did the better Superman? I want you guys to let me know in the comment section what you think, who did, the ones who actually watched the movie, both movies. You guys let me know who you think did the better movie. Now, looking at both of these movies, on the surface, they're both Superman movies. But if you dig a little deeper, it's almost like comparing apples to oranges. These movies were completely different. Let's look at Zack Snyder's Superman. Zack Snyder's Superman, that movie was more of a introduction, I would say, of Superman to the world. And I got the feeling in that movie that this was Superman would be like in a real world setting. Like if Superman was actually in our world, I got that type of feel with that Superman. It didn't show, that movie didn't have a lot of emotion in it. Superman was very stoic. We didn't see a lot of humor. And I think the only time we really saw Superman very emotional, I would say, was when he fought Zod and he snapped Zod's neck in the movie, and when he yelled out. I think that was the only time we saw him showing real, genuine emotion. Most of the time, I just had this. He had this godlike presence in the movie. It was a gritty movie, and it was high on the drama. No comedy involved. So that was that type of movie. Now, when I look at James Gunn movie, you had all types of emotion. You had, sadness. You had humor. You were upset at times. Superman showed a wide range of emotions in that movie, and it was a Superman that the world had already knew for like 3 years. And they said, I think superheroes or metahumans had been around for like over 300 years. And it was the first time in that movie that Superman, I'm just adding this in, first time that he got his ass kicked in that movie. But it was a very different movie, very different feel. And I would say that it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a movie that's going to make you laugh, a movie that's going to make you cry, that have a whole set of different emotions up and down, I would say Superman. I would say that James Gunn Superman is the movie for you. If you're looking for a movie that's really high on drama, more of a real world setting, you're not looking for the humor, the campiness, you just want a serious movie, I would say sci-fi type movie, you're gonna go with the Man of Steel. Now, with that being said, I still think, in my opinion, my honest opinion, I like Man of Steel better because I'm more of a sci-fi guy. I'm more of a drama guy. I don't necessarily have to have humor in my movie to enjoy it. I don't have to have humor in a Superman movie, but I will say it was a breath of fresh air to see Superman, the take on Superman, very different from Zack Snyder's version. It was more comic booky, I would say. It did have a comic book feel, and I had a great time watching it. But I would say Man of Steel is my favorite. But I really did enjoy Superman, James Gunn's Superman. But anyway, that's my take on it, guys. I know I was kind of rambling on a little bit there. But like I said, I'm interested in knowing what you guys think, guys who actually seen the movie, who actually gave it a chance, especially Zack Snyder fans. I'm really interested in knowing if you guys actually like the movie, despite what a lot of YouTubers that are Zack Snyder cultists say. You guys let me know how you feel about that one in the comment section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.